Hello everybody, sorry for the delay, technical hitches as always, brand new to streaming this. If there's anybody out there, I'm Badham from Tyne and Fear, and today we've got an amazing couple of games for you. In the British Champs doubleheader we've got Manchester Roller Derby versus Hotwheel, and later on today we've got the Caddy Belters from Newcastle versus the Leeds Roller Dolls. The Hotwheel team are skating out right now. I'll quickly run through the names and then although we missed the Manchester skate out, I will go over the names just so you know who's skating. But for Hotwheel we have 419 Ruthless Philly, 2X Fanny Batter, number 5 Rambo, number 6 Shell Yeah, number 7 Mia Tennant, number 9 Beth Lord, 21 Megaphone, 37 Peggy Lethal, 73 Pussy Rollmore, 81 Kay Hizzle, 87 Siege Mentality, 97 Lana Del Slay, 107 Isla Hurt Ya, 232 Queen of Splats, 403 Lexi on Fire, 409 Shiv Vicious, and I have no number at the moment for Speedophile, although as soon as I spot her I'll let you know. And their bench and lineup are Geriatric and Danger Duck respectively. And quickly before we start, the skaters today for Manchester are 99, the captain, it's Clout, 21, Penny Pincher, 15H, the Incredible Ish, number 3, Price, number 4, Victory B, 005 is Duodinator, or perhaps Duodinator, number 5, Go-Go Chanel, number 8, Psycho Sis, number 11, Kate Push, number 20, Sirenide, number 24, Skatanico, number 50, Cornish Knocker, 66, Robinson, 101, Pinky Fingers, 118, Fatality, 145, Ukulele, H5, Hades Huntress, and L33T, Carried Alive. And their bench and lineup are Pina Collider and Smack Mamba respectively. So again, with a fairly recent rule change, kit checks no longer required. The skaters themselves take responsibility for having adequate and appropriate kit for the game they're about to play. So with both teams taking the track now, it looks like we're about ready to start. Unfortunately, from my angle, it's difficult to see exactly who is skating. I'm not familiar with either of these teams' skaters. However, it looks like we've got Go-Go Chanel skating as the jammer for Manchester. And we're underway. Oh, and Manchester sprints straight to the front there. I'm sorry, it's not Go-Go Chanel, it's in fact number 4, who is Victory B. She's straight out for lead as the Hotwheel jammer still trying to get through the Manchester pack. She's pushing through the back, trying to get through the middle. Now as Manchester is on a scoring pass now, trying to get through. She's got some offence there on the inside. She's trying to squeeze through on the outside. Does she get through? No, she gets pushed off. Recycled back. just as Penny Lethal for Hotwheel is through, she calls the jam for 3 points. So in the opening jam of this game, it's 3 points to Manchester and 0 to Hotwheel. So quite a short jam to begin there, with Manchester showing their dominance straight away. And calling it off, denying Hotwheel any points whatsoever. So now looks like we have Hotwheel taking the inside, pushing against that wall, but it's bunching up towards the inside. She tries to hit the outside, it's pushed back to the inside where there is now a gap. She scoots around the inside, that's Hotwheel, have lead. Closely followed by Manchester, and Hotwheel now on a scoring pass. Manchester's trying to reform to stop her from scoring points, but she gets the point. She's through for 4 points, calls the jam off, denies Manchester. That's 4 to Hotwheel and 0 to Manchester. So the roles somewhat reversed in that jam as Hotwheel dominated and again called it off, denying Manchester any points at all. So looks like we've got the Hotwheel jammer scooting straight on the outside there, tries to get a hip check to get her off the outside, but she battles through it. She's through for lead, and Gogo Chanel, the Manchester jammer's pushing against the front of the Hotwheel wall. She's denied access. She's still trying to get through for a scoring pass as Peggy Lethal is through for a full 5 points, a grand slam there on her first scoring pass. Gogo Chanel's pushed off to the inside and has to recycle back behind the wall again as Peggy Lethal skates for Hotwheel unimpeded for another 5 points. And again, once more on the outside, a bit of a stumble. Was any penalty called though? No, it was not. There's another grand slam, another 5 points for Hotwheel. Looks like the penalty was in fact called on that's Ukulele. So another grand slam for Hotwheel as the Manchester jammer is still trapped behind the wall of Hotwheel, and it looks like I missed the star pass as well. I apologise for that. Like I say, it's a difficult angle to see from here, but before the star goes on the head of the pivot, she's desperately trying to get through to get position. She's trying to force Hotwheel to call off this jam, but without getting out of the pack. There she goes, she's through now, she's through. I want a scoring pass. Will Hotwheel try and get through for another pass? Another 4 points, or will they call it and deny them any at all? Yep, she calls it just after turn 4. So on the final pass, that was 2 points to Hotwheel and 0 to Manchester. That was a minute and 50 seconds on that jam, and it was at least a minute and a half before Manchester got out. So total dominance by Hotwheel in that jam. And the scores stand at 36 to Hotwheel and only 3 to Manchester Roller Derby. Up on the jam line now, we have Victory B jamming again for Manchester. Up against what I think might be Rambo for Hotwheel. No, it is not. It is in fact Mia Tennant, number 7 for Hotwheel. And straight away, Hotwheel are through for lead. The Manchester Jammers still trying to get at the pack, but she's through now. She's through for a scoring pass, just almost exactly a lap behind. That's how we'll get through for 3 points, and Manchester get 0. So with a very large lead from a single jam, Hotwheel managed to claw back 3 points there, denying Manchester any. And next up to jam, we've got Peggy Lethal for Hotwheel. Up against I'm not sure, can't see. But sorry about this. The Peggy Lethal's straight through for lead there. comes up against the back wall of Manchester. Some inside offense provided there, breaking up the wall. She was trying to get through on the outside, but caused the jam off before the Manchester jammer can get through to score. So 2 points to Hotwheel, and again 0 to Manchester. So just clawing their way back up to to close the gap between the scores, which now stand at 41 to Hotwheel and 3 to Manchester. It looks like we've got Victory B jamming again from Manchester, and again Mia Tennant is that, I think, yes, jamming for Hotwheel. Mia Tennant pushes to the outside to the inside to try to get through, but is beaten to lead by Victory B as she pushes through the inside, and you can see how happy she is about that. One to beat for Mia to get through there. She gets through on a scoring pass just as Victory B is trying to score. She's now only one straight behind. Victory B is through. She gets 4 points. Did she call it off in time? No, she didn't. That's 4 points to Manchester and 2 points to Hotwheel. Not quite quick enough calling that off to deny Hotwheel points there, but 4 to Manchester and 2 to Hotwheel. So once again we've got Peggy Lethal jamming for Hotwheel. And we're away with Peggy Lethal pushing the Manchester blockers on the inside. She's really pushing the 3-wall there, breaking the 3-wall down, skips to the outside. There's a big gap on the inside. She takes it. She's through for lead. Peggy Lethal for Hotwheel through for lead. Meanwhile, the Incredible Ish for Manchester is recycled back. She has to start all over again. As Peggy Lethal comes through on the outside, she's already passed. She's through Manchester now, and she's passed the blocker, so that's for a grand slam of 5 points, just as the Incredible Ish follows her through. She's now on a scoring pass. And there Peggy Lethal, with some offence, breaks through the last 2 blockers. Another 4 points, denying Manchester any, but forcing the call off. That was 4 points to Hotwheel and 0 to Manchester. So they are slowly but surely closing that initial runaway gap. 52 now to 7. And we have Mia Tennant once more jamming straight the outside, straight open. A sprint start puts her straight into lead position, and the Manchester jammer also a tiny little fake to the outside, leaving an inside gap open. She's through on a scoring pass, but a good half lap behind as number 7 for Hotwheel calls off the jam. That was 4 points to 0 to Hotwheel, extending their lead by a further 4 points. Looks like we've got a fresh new jammer for Manchester. We have Psycho Sis up against Peggy Lethal again for Hotwheel. And straight away Psycho Sis is pushing on the inside while Mia goes on the outside. Sorry, I beg your pardon, not Mia, that's Peggy Lethal. Psycho Sis is through on the inside for Manchester, as the Hotwheel jammer is battered around trying to get through on the middle. She's pushing that 3-wall, and she's knocked off to the outside by Victory B, but she did cut herself. No, that is a cutting penalty for Peggy Lethal, so that's 30 seconds in the bin for Hotwheel. It's a power jam to Manchester. Can they use it wisely? This is the perfect chance now to close the gap, but she's knocked off to the inside once more. But pushing, yeah, Psychos is pushing through on the outside. She's through on a scoring pass, so that's 5 points. The jammer in the box is standing now, so about to be released. And Psychosis capitalise, yes she can, that's through on the inside for another grand slam, another 5 points. She calls off the jam. Oh, that was very close. Did she deny any points? No, she didn't. That's 3 points. Possibly earned actually before the penalty, I beg your pardon. But yes, 5 points in that jam for Manchester and 3 for Hotwheel. A low start there for the Hotwheel jammer. It looks like we have straight away recycling both jammers. The Manchester jammer's pushing on the outside now. It takes a bit of a stagger, and then she takes a tumble as Lana Del Slay gets back in front of her to stop her making any progress. But the Hotwheel jammer, which is, I should learn these names, Megaphone, is sent to the box for a back block. So 30 seconds, that's another power jam to Manchester, who now have lead. And through on a scoring pass, she tries to go on the outside. Looks like a B block there, so she forced a back block on the Manchester jammer, who's now sent to the box for 30 seconds for a back block penalty. So as soon as she sits down, the Hotwheel jammer will be released. And I would estimate she probably served about 20 seconds with that penalty, maybe. So Megaphone back on track now. This jam will run for 2 minutes. Splitting that Manchester pack up. She's got last line of defence. They're out of play. So Megaphone is now through for a scoring pass. Skips her on the outside, but takes the shoulder of number 11, knocks her off to the outside. She has to recycle as the pack all recycle all the way back to turn 4. Meanwhile, the Manchester jammer back on track, having a tough time getting past the wall of Hotwheel, who keep reforming. But no such trouble for Megaphone as she gets her in a gap left on the outside. And the Manchester jammer smack having a big lot of trouble getting through on the inside there as she was knocked off to the inside, recycled once again. A tumble is taken by Megaphone and manages to be recycled by Clout from Manchester, and there we go. That's looks like that's a cutting penalty to Manchester. So that's the end of the jam. 4 points to Manchester, 2 points to Hotwheel. This will start with a power jam for Hotwheel. Quite an exciting jam. I particularly enjoyed it. So yeah, if anybody is out there, once again we are experimenting with doing our own live streaming for both Newcastle Roller Girls and Tyne and Fear. We've pieced together the equipment. We've begged, borrowed and stolen. We haven't stolen. We've borrowed without knowledge, perhaps. Does that count as stolen? I suppose in some people's eyes it does. Perhaps we haven't done that anyway. No stealing whatsoever. We do not condone theft. But yeah, we have pieced all this kit together to try and bring you a more affordable way of streaming these games, because as I'm sure anybody who's a fan of roller derby is aware, games are happening all the time and teams travel up and down the country every weekend to compete in games, and not everybody can be everywhere. So this is just a really useful way of getting to see your favourite teams play other of your favourite teams without leaving the comfort of your wherever you like to watch roller derby, in the bath perhaps, or just in your lounge. So it looks like we're ready to start the next jam now. We've got, that was a team timeout, called by Hotwheel. And we have an equal pack with nobody in the bin other than the Manchester jammer, so it's a power jam start for Hotwheel. Disruption to the Manchester wall, left the inside open, and Peggy Lethal is through on turn 1 for lead. Meanwhile, Manchester have reformed in a kind of bolstered triangular formation of a wall. Once again, full on offence from Hotwheel, disrupting that wall, but Peggy Lethal is still struggling to get through before turn 4, but she is through. She's through for 5 points. It's another Grand Slam. Manchester reform back in the same wedge formation. But with the Manchester jammer back on track now, there's no offence coming anytime soon from Hotwheel. I'll tell a lie, they've left a 3 wall to defend against the Manchester jammer, and 1 offence went in, getting Peggy Lethal through for another scoring pass. It's a very good use of blockers Meanwhile, Manchester really struggling to get past the blockers of Hotwheel there as they reform from a flat line to a bolstered 3-wall. And Hotwheel Jammer is through for another 4 points, yeah. Some well-timed offense from Manchester there disrupts the Hotwheel wall, leaving the outside open for the Manchester Jammer, which is Smack to get through there. Through for a scoring pass. Hotwheel call it off. So in that jam, that was 3 points to Hotwheel and 0 to Manchester. So after 11 jams and nearly 15 minutes, we have Hotwheel on 82 and Manchester on 21. Once again, we've got an empty penalty box this time, so totally even on both teams. We've got a 4-on-4 pack. K8 from Manchester taking a bit of a tumble on the outside there, briefly leaving it open, but no time to capitalise. Using your teammates as a projectile is mostly perfectly legal, so manages to knock the Jammer off the inside. However, she also followed her, so there was no cut. We've got Manchester. Victory B takes lead, but very closely followed by Mia Tennant for Hotwheel. Is Victory B going to try and get through, get the points and call it? She does call it. Did she get any points though? No, she didn't. And Hotwheel did get through for 1, so there we have 1 point in that jam to Manchester. And sorry, to Hotwheel, and 0 to Manchester. So now, yes, Hotwheel have 4 times the score of Manchester. So that maths I just did there, it's pretty incredible, wasn't it? 84 to 21. Looks like the Manchester Jam is preparing to start a few steps further back to allow a small sprint start. She's pushing from the outside to the middle, with one bolster at the front for Hotwheel. She's knocked out of the way by number 5, which is Go-Go Chanel, and Manchester through for lead. Hot on the heels, however, is the Hotwheel Jammer, Peggy Lethal. And it's a pretty fast pack, but with Manchester trailing slightly, they can't go too far. Jam is called off, 0 points for both teams. That could have turned into a sprinting jam where the whole pack sprints around. The Jammers struggle to keep up, everyone gets tired and nobody gets any points. So I'm sure all the skaters are very happy that didn't happen. So with Hotwheel blocker in the bin, we've got a 4-3 pack advantage to Manchester, do we? No, we don't. No, there's 1 each in the bin, so that's 3-on-3, I beg your pardon. Jammer on Jammer action there. The Jammer tries to recycle the other Jammer. She successfully pulls the cut, forcing number 21 Megaphone for a cutting penalty, giving a power jam to Manchester as Manchester are through for lead. So we have slow down on turn 4. Looked like she was going to sprint straight through then, but she is recycled back, slowing that pack. Some offense tried on the outside there, but Lana Del Rey is not allowed to happen. The outside is left open. Smack is through on the outside, but a last minute beautiful shoulder check forces her off track. But the penalty is called on number 73, which is Pussy Rollmore. 30 seconds in the box for that. And Smack then can continue with a scoring pass. Meanwhile, Megaphone's back on track, pushes against a try wall of Manchester. Is not really getting anywhere. She's trying to find a weak point in that wall. There doesn't appear to be one. She's pushed from the middle to the outside. And just in front, similar struggle is going on for the Manchester Jammer against only a 2 wall. But Hotwheeler through. But Manchester call it off. As Manchester score a Grand Slam of 5 to Hotwheel's 0. Again, Manchester needed to call that off before. Hotwheel was through on the scoring pass. And Manchester are now closing the gap. We have Hotwheel on 84. And Manchester, is that going to change? No, Manchester on 31. Next up to jam for Manchester, we've got Psycho Sis. against Mia Tennant for Hotwheel. Quite a slow start for the Jammers, but then both step on the gas. Psycho Sis really pushing hard to get through there, but she is indeed sent off for her forearms. While Mia Tennant is passed from pillar to post from the middle to the outside, turns around 180 to try and get through on the outside of number 4, Victory B, but is in fact recycled back. She's desperately running the outside again. She does do what I believe is known as the creepy octopus to get around the outside. Knocks a skater down, looks like a wheel lock tucker with her, gives the Manchester Roller Derby time to reform, but they're out of play, leaving her to skate freely on a scoring pass. Now they need to capitalise on this power jam while the Manchester Jam is in the bin. Some offence there, gets her through the pack. She's through for 4 points because there was a no pass, no penalty on one of the players. Meanwhile, the Manchester Jammers back on track on turn 4, pushing against that wall of Hotwheel. Separating the pack, separating the Hotwheel wall nicely there. She's through on the inside, so she's through on a scoring pass now as the Hotwheel Jammer and blocker are sent to the bin now. So there's a power jam for Manchester up against only 3 blockers, so if they can capitalise on this, perhaps they can close this gap even more. She tries to sprint through, loses her footing, collides with the shoulder of Pussy Rollmore, which isn't the best place you want to be, I don't think. But she's through on the inside, she's through for 5 points. That's a grand slam for Manchester, as we still have a 4-on-3 pack advantage to Manchester, so this pack might not move very far. But offence is provided by the Manchester captain Clout there, and a little shoulder there from Psycho Sister. Manchester Jammer gets her through for another 5-point pass, another grand slam, as the Hotwheel Jammer takes back to the track after a penalty. She desperately tried to stop herself getting that cut there. It was a valiant effort, but she did retake the track after cutting, so another 30 seconds in the bin. The last jam there, that was 3 points to Hotwheel, 0 to Manchester, and the next jam will start as a power jam to Manchester. So Manchester now really closing the gap. We've got Hotwheel on 91 and Manchester Roller Derby on 41. So approaching halfway now, as soon as they were only a quarter of the score earlier, they're definitely catching up. So a 4-on-3 pack advantage and a power jam. Full on offence means the Hotwheel wall is sprinting forward. Go Chanel's pushing that 3 wall, now a 2 wall, 1 remaining. Can she stay on track? Yes, she can. She's through for lead. Go Chanel's through for lead now. Both the Hotwheel Jammer and blocker are now standing, so there's not long left to make use of this power jam. And once again, Go Chanel trying to push on the outside. It's thwarted by the remaining 2 wall of Hotwheel. Separating this wall out. Push to the... that's... Only 1 arm went out of bounds, so that is not a cut. Very well called, although tentatively by the Jammer. And as she's through for a 5-point pass, closely followed by Mia Tennant jamming for Hotwheel. And before Go can get another point, oh no, she got 1 point, but calls off the jam, denying Hotwheel any points at all. I think that might have been 2 points perhaps for, I'm not sure, the ref came to tell the score trackers somebody got 2 points, I'm not sure when or who, so yeah, we'll just make it up. However, that affects the score. We have Hotwheel on 91 and Manchester on 48. So we now have a, what's that, a 3-on-3 pack, so we've got 1 of each blockers in the bin. Although I can't see a Manchester blocker in the bin, so maybe maybe somebody's been obscured from my view. Is there somebody there? Looks like 3-on-3, somebody is missing from the bin then. I feel like I may have gone person blind, but I can only see 3 and 3 on track, so... Oh look, of course, I'm sure you all saw it and you're shouting at me. The captain was in the middle for an official review. Just a second. Yeah, there was a query on the illegal re-entry there, but the call stands, so no change. So yeah, we currently stand on 91 for Hotwheel and 48 for Manchester. If that's the official review over, we should be ready to get going, unless there's further discussion from the Hotwheel bench coach geriatric there. However, yes, as I said, the call does stand. So we're ready for the next jam now, as is that Mia Tennant jamming for Hotwheel? Was it? You tell me. Oh, so yes, we're back. It's a 4-on-3 pack advantage to Manchester, and Hotwheel have the front. And we're away. Little shoulder to start there to knock the Hotwheel jammer off to the outside. Smack, the Manchester jammer is nearly through on the outside, but a little shoulder punches her off. She needs to stay off to be recycled. A foot out there, she's knocked by number 6 off to the outside, needs to recycle. Meanwhile, the Hotwheel jammer is through for lead. That's Penny Lethal. And now we're back with 4 blockers for Hotwheel, as Smack is sent to the bin. Once again, Peggy Lethal through for a full scoring pass. 5 points. Manchester need to... Oh, they've lost another blocker. That's a blocker in the bin, so it's 4-on-3 advantage to Hotwheel. Once again, a little bit of offence provided, disrupts the Manchester wall. Peggy Lethal through for another 5-point pass. Manchester need to reform. Need to anticipate any offence, none of which is provided. Closing the back of the 3 wall. However, the inside is left slightly open there, and Peggy Lethal is through for another 5. As the Manchester jammer is back on track, pushing against the 4 wall of Hotwheel. She is pushing them forwards though, and some offence provided by the incredible Ish. And Manchester allows Peggy Lethal to escape through on the outside, sorry, a beautiful little double 180, it wasn't quite a 360, gets her through for another 5-point pass. But now the Manchester jammer is through for a scoring pass as she follows Hotwheel. She's about a third of a lap behind. Hotwheel managed to get 1 or 2 points there, denying Manchester any points on that pass. Yep, 3 points it was for Hotwheel. So Hotwheel increasing their lead again. Just got a score check, the score tracker, who is, sorry for the scoreboard operator, checking with the referees. Got to make sure everything is correct. So yes, we have a new jammer taking the track in the form of Lexi on Fire for Hotwheel, up against a known quantity of Psychosis. She's pushed off to the inside. She seems to have a lot of power in very brief amount of space. You can go from a standing start to a sprint, and it works to her favour. She's through the middle, closely followed by Lexi on Fire. So Manchester blockers have now got a goat. That stops the pack from going as fast as they might like. It stops the 4 wall of Hotwheel operating properly. But the jam is called off. 0 points to both teams. So once again, an empty penalty box means 4 against 4 and a jammer apiece. I think that might be Gogo Chanel jamming for Manchester. Up against, I can't even see the jammer, there she is, yes, oh well, there we go. That's Peggy Lethal jamming for Hotwheel as she comes sprinting through the middle. Totally unfettered access. Hotwheel are through for lead as Gogo is having difficulty pushing against this 4 wall. The Manchester wall is pushed from the inside to the outside, creating lots of gaps for Peggy Lethal to exploit, but they managed to reform as the Manchester wall catches up with the Hotwheel wall. And Peggy Lethal is through for another 5-point pass there. The last line of defence against the Manchester jammer is a tricky one to beat. Tries to get her hips in front of her from Ruthless Philly. manages to get through. Gogo Chanel now on a scoring pass. However, Peggy Lethal calls the jam off after scoring 4 points, denying Manchester any points in that jam. So now we have, I think I may have missed a low block in that game for Manchester. So we've got a 3-on-2 advantage to Hotwheel, and an almost pivot line start. As we have Manchester pushing on the inside against the Hotwheel jammer, also on the inside. There's a barrage of hits being taken. The Mia Tennant is pushed from the inside to the outside, just managed to stay in track. She's doing hockey stops to keep herself in there. However, I think the cut might have been called. She may well have been forced to cut. Yes, indeed. Mia Tennant sent to the bin for a cut in the track penalty. And Manchester are through for lead now. And all the Manchester blockers are out of the bin, are they? No, they're not. One more has been sent to the bin, just as the others come out. So we've got to keep things vaguely even. A shoulder from Kate Push there, followed by a hit check. Knocks Chelier off, keeping the pack to the back, stretching out the pack so that Smack can get through. However, she cuts the track on the outside. She's sent to the bin as well. So this will now be a jammer swap. Although the jammer finished the penalty, the Hotwheel jammer finished the penalty, so Mia Tennant's back on track. That'll be 30 seconds in the bin for Manchester, as Mia Tennant pushes against the last line of defence on the inside there. The pack's too extended, out of play, no more blocking allowed. She's through for 5 points. And Victory B back on track after serving their penalty now, so we've got 4 Manchester blockers, however, no coherent wall. They're separated. Mia Tennant through on the inside. Manchester need to slow this pack down, keep a wall, be aware of the offence. Oh, but skating straight into the back of Kate Push. No, a direction of gameplay penalty, a clockwise block there from Kate Push. So we're down to 3 blockers for Manchester just as the jammer gets out of the bin. And a grand slam for Mia Tennant. And a zero for Mia Tennant, and a grand slam for Smack from Manchester. So what's that done for the scores? Well, Hotwheel have extended the lead. 132 to Hotwheel plays Manchester Roller Derby's 53. And with only 20 seconds remaining on the period clock, this could well be the last jam of this half. Manchester struggling to get through the pack there, but Peggy Lethal jamming for Hotwheel is making short work of this Manchester wall as she extends each member of the wall, dragging them out away from the coherent flat wall. She's through for lead. The inside was left wide open, but just at the last second the inside gap was filled by, who was that? I'm not sure, by a Manchester blocker who took the brunt of what luckily was a legal hit, which knocked Peggy Lethal to the inside. Had to recycle, but then manages to get back up, sort it out. She's through for another 5 points. Meanwhile, after a full lap without managing to get out the pack, the Manchester blocker is still stuck behind this four-wall, this ever-moving four-wall of Hotwheel. After any offence comes, they manage to recycle, to reform. Star pass right in front of me there. So I did see it. Thank you very much. I think that's Sirenide who's now got the star. Number 20 for Manchester. But once again, didn't manage to sprint up to capitalise on this quickly enough, and the wall reforms in front of her. She hasn't got the cap on yet. Well, Peggy Lethal comes through for another scoring pass. Scoots around the outside, but Manchester do manage to reform in front of her. Knock her to the inside. However, an out of play block called, allowing Peggy Lethal to continue on a scoring pass of 4 more points. A little apex hop, although perhaps just hopping over the possibility of feet for Peggy Lethal there. gets through for another Grand Slam, leaving the still non-star wearing new jammer for Manchester stuck behind the wall of Hotwheel. Well, what a jam to end that half on. We've now got a 15-minute half-time and the scores stand at 156 to Hotwheel and now to Manchester's 53. So with a 103-point differential, unless the scores change now, Manchester got the work cut out for them to pull this back in the second half. Although it's certainly by no means over. Manchester have been playing a very solid game, but Hotwheel obviously through for lead more times, getting more points on more occasions, will win a game. So all to play for still, obviously. 103 points may seem like a lot, but it could easily be eclipsed if Manchester have a great half-time talk and pull it back in the second half. We do have an official review going on right now, so this isn't quite possibly not the end of the first half, although once I've said that it will be. So I'm not sure what this review is about. If I do find out, I will surely let you know. So as Ruthless Philly, the captain for Hotwheel, has finished explaining her grievance or point of view, the refs are now in a huddle discussing exactly how to go forward with this official review. Well, looks like a decision has been reached quite swiftly. So whether or not this will affect the game, I will let you know. Yeah, looks like Hotwheel were going for an egregious block, an airborne block, sorry, on the jammer. However, as Manchester initiated, no call was made and the no call stands. So yeah, looks like we are indeed in half time now. I'm sure the board will be updated shortly. So the scores stand, yes, at 156 to Hotwheel against Manchester's 53. We'll be back in a little over 14 minutes or thereabouts, so watch and listen to this space. We will be back with you shortly. Once again, I'm Baden Patine and Fear, and you're watching the first half of Manchester Roller Derby versus Hotwheel, which is the British Champs game we're streaming today. I'll see you again in a short while. Sorry about that, everybody. We seem to have some technical problems there, but we have missed the first jam. It was Manchester got through for the lead, and they got the 4 points called off the jam. And up for jam 2 of the second half, we have Mia Tennant jamming for Hotwheel. Looked like she was going to get out first, but Smack beats her to the punch. And Mia is recycled back, so she's a good half lap behind the lead jammer, Smack from Manchester. And she hits the back wall of the Hotwheel blockers, but some offense on the inside allows Smack to gain through. She didn't. Oh, she did get 2 points there, so he did manage to call it off in what is a rather large fashion, but managing successfully to deny Hotwheel any points at all. So yeah, 2 to Manchester and none to Hotwheel in that jam. Now we have, that's Peggy Lethal on the jam line for Hotwheel, who was the first jammer, who was the jammer in the first jam of this period. And she's pushing on the outside, trying to get through, pushing on the inside. Manchester can't reform quick enough. But the inside is left open for number 5, Go Chanel for Manchester to get through for lead. But she is closely followed by Peggy Lethal for Hotwheel. And yeah, before they even get onto the scoring straight, Go calls it off. That's a 0 point jam. Leaving one of the blockers, Victory B, one of Manchester's blockers, Victory B, in the penalty box. So we have a 4-on-3 pack advantage to Hotwheel. They've got a very wide 3-wall, managing to take up the whole track, but with so many arm connections exposed, run the risk of multiplayers there. But all the blockers are pushed on the inside, leaving the outside wide open. A little skip to the inside for Mia there. She's through for lead for Hotwheel. Meanwhile, is that Psychosis? Last little attempt to push her off to the outside does not succeed. And she's through on a scoring pass. I'm sorry, it looks like I have been calling her Psychosis all game. And that's not who it is it? I saw number 8. Well, I'll come back to that because I can't see a name from here, but so I'm sorry to everybody who has probably been shouting at me saying that's not the right person you did. Anyway, back to actually what's happening instead of me trying to read and find out some information. We've got the Hotwheel jammer in the bin now. She's just about ready to come back on track. But Manchester jammer has got through for another Grand Slam now. It looks like it's Pina Collider, maybe, who, according to my information, is the bench coach. So something has changed there without my knowledge, so I apologise for that. So yes, Manchester jammer, possibly Pina Collider, is coming through now for another scoring pass, slowly up against the back wall of Hotwheel, whilst very quickly sidestepping Mia Tennant for Hotwheel is through for a 5-point scoring pass there. As Pina Collider looks like she's trying to pass the start, but she goes down before she can take it. And is that going to be a star pass violation? No, I don't think it is. No. But the jam is called off before Manchester can get through for any points. So that'll be 3 points to Hotwheel. And I think that's going to be 0 points to Manchester. No, beg your pardon, it was 4 points to Manchester. So that takes the scores for Hotwheel to 165 and Manchester catching up by 73. So with an empty penalty box, we've got 4 on 4. Manchester Jammers pushing on the outside, and a scramble of blockers to try and reform in front of her do not manage to succeed, but she's taken the slow line on the outside and almost taken out by a blocker, but Peggy Lethal through for Hotwheel as lead, but very closely followed by Smack from Manchester. We've got a fast pack moving now as the Hotwheel blockers try to chase down the Manchester blockers to get in front, perhaps to then control this jam. They slow down on turn 4, they let Peggy through, and then close on the inside, denying access by the Manchester blocker. Peggy's knocked off to the outside, calls off the jam, 0 points to each side. Woo. So yeah, apologies to both Pina Colada and Psychosis and everybody else, but she is number K8. And the only information I only have a number 8, which is Psychosis, who I've probably been neglecting to mention, who may well be skating. Anyhow, back to, well, we've got one Hotwheel blocker in the bin. There's a 4-3 advantage to Manchester, but Hotwheel's mere attendance through for lead as Gogo Chanel is about quarter of a lap behind her, but she is closing that gap. Another fast pack start, but Hotwheel is slowing it down now. Manchester keeping it to the edge of play. Sprint it forward, keep it in play, out of play, keep it in play. And did it succeed, or is she skating out of bounds perhaps? Or I'll see if she's going to the bin. Yeah, Pinky Finger sent to the bin there for, I think, skating out of bounds, possibly out of play block. Oh, it's a power jam. No, it's not. That's a pivot. I do beg your pardon. As Victory B is also in the box. I'll get this right one day, I'm sure. Just before the start of the jam, we have a team timeout for which team? Which team is it for? It's not a team timeout. It's just a timeout. It's an official timeout. As the Hotwheel Jam ref discusses something with the score trackers. But yeah, to begin this jam, we're going to have a 4-on-2 pack advantage to Hotwheel, as both Victory B and I think it's Pinky Fingers are serving penalties. And then up to jam for Hotwheel, we have what looks like Peggy Lethal, who's been the stalwart jammer for Hotwheel, through on the inside, can't get in her way. Very strong jammer indeed. And Siren Eyed is trying to get through on a scoring pass. She manages to get past Pussy Roll more, so she's through on a scoring pass now, just as the Hotwheel pivot is sent to the bin. The jam is called. 4 points to Hotwheel and 0 to Manchester. Things were happening all over the place then, and I didn't really pay attention to any of them, and I'm sorry to say. But to begin this jam, we've got the same 2 blockers for Manchester, Victory B and Pinky Fingers, who are just finishing their penalties, and we have the Hotwheel pivot serving a penalty, and that is number 9, possibly Beth Lord, serving a penalty there. So we've got a 3-on-2 advantage to Hotwheel. Hotwheel are quick to take the front as they try and get in the way of the Manchester Jam, and they successfully do. And Mia Tennant is through for lead for Hotwheel, as the Manchester Jammer struggles to sprint ahead, but the last line of defence in Hotwheel cannot manage to get in front of her. And yes, K8 again, which I'm going to go with. Yeah, that's got to be Pina Colada. Is through on a scoring pass, so Hotwheel call off the jam. 3 points to Hotwheel, 0 to Manchester. And is that an empty box? It is. So we've got a 4-on-4 and a jammer apiece of each team. No advantage. With Manchester taking the front line, we've got a 3-wall and a bolster. Very wide bolster, so again, any links that are challenged could incur, as you see there, with Peggy Lethal pushing against the links in that wall. That is a multiplayer, Paul Dunn Robinson there. This is the one thing you've got to be very careful of when you're doing wide links like that. If they're challenged, inside lane left wide open there. Peggy Lethal straight through for a 5-point pass, while Smack is really struggling to push that 3 wall out of the way. She tries to get her on the outside. She's knocked off by 97. Or was that? No, that was the jammer as well, I believe. No, it wasn't. That was Lana Del Slay. As Peggy Lethal comes through for another scoring pass, she skips around the outside, sprinting so quick she can cover such distance in such a short time. Another grand slam, but this time Smack has managed to get through on the outside, so she's on a scoring pass now. Peggy Lethal may well try and get these points and call it off. I believe it's known as a hit and quit, but that's a bit too American for me to be able to get away with saying, I think. Hit and quit. Yeah, it is, yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, that's Peggy Lethal called it off in time. Manchester 0 points on that jam and 3 points to Hotwheel. So the scores after that jam now stand at 195 to Hotwheel and 73 to Manchester. So Hotwheel are increasing their lead now. It's 122 points lead, I believe. And once again we've got an empty bin, so no advantage to either team. This time Hotwheel take the front. They go for a traditional flat floor wall. However, with some offense on the inside, a temporary gap opens up on the inside of the Hotwheel wall, but it's quickly closed. And a 2 wall with a bolster is denying access to the Manchester Jammer, but she does manage to get some offense, gets it on the inside, but not before Lexi on Fire gets lead for Hotwheel. So with only half a straight between them, Lexi on Fire is going to be gunning for some points, while Hotwheel have managed to get a go. Lexi on Fire takes a tumble on the outside of turn 1. She does get 1 point, calls off the jam. 0 points to Manchester in that jam and 1 point to Hotwheel. That was a frantic fight for 1 point, but 1 point indeed she got. So as I'm sure you can guess, not guess, because it's very simple maths, you don't need to guess. 196 to Hotwheel, to Manchester 73. Now we've got a pivot line start. Again, empty penalty box, so there's no advantage in pack. And we've got Victory B jamming for Manchester. Up against, is that Mia Tennant for Hotwheel? No, it's not, it's Peggy Lethal. She pushes on the inside, pushes on the middle, and gap opens up on the outside. Once again, through on the outside, just on turn 1. No waiting around. A little bit of an assist there for Victory B. Gets her through on a scoring pass, but she's nearly a full lap behind. She will try and force the call off. She does. So that's only 3 points to Hotwheel and 0 to Manchester. Well, looks like Manchester trying to go for the pivot line start again with one of the blockers. One of the blockers for Manchester in the bin and one of the blockers for Hotwheel in the bin. We now have a 3-on-3 equal pack for both teams. We've got Mia Tennant jamming for Hotwheel. She's pushing that pack forward, testing every link of that wall, stretching the pack out. Manchester can't slow her down. By turn 2 she's through. Mia Tennant's through for lead for Hotwheel. Again, the inside was left open. So Manchester through about a straight or so behind Mia. Smack is chasing her down, desperate for some points now. A little bit of offense to try and get Mia through. She does get 2 points, but so do Manchester, so that's 2 points apiece in that jam. You've got to time it really well if the other jammer is bearing down on you to deny them any points. You've got to decide. Do I get points and possibly allow them to get points? Or do I call it now and have a 0-0 jam or lap? Once again, the same blockers still in the bin from the last jam, but they just retry. But a multiplayer block called on Hotwheel's 403. No, not 403, sorry. But Go-Go Chanel is through for lead for Manchester, closely followed by, well, about a half a lap behind, actually not that close, by Peggy Lethal. So Manchester Jammer's through, pushing her on the outside of that wall. Can she get through? The inside is left wide open. Peggy Lethal takes it, didn't get any points though. Manchester got through for 2. Called it off just in time for Peggy to be denied any points. So 2 to Manchester and 0 to Hotwheel on that jam. Takes Hotwheel to 201 and Manchester to 77. So Hotwheel really stretching their lead ahead now by 124 points. And again a 3-on-3 pack we have. Lexi on fire jamming for Hotwheel. She's pushing to the middle and the inside, the outside. Leaving the outside open for Smack. Smack's through for Manchester. A late hit from Pinky Fingers knocks Lexi on fire off to the outside, but she can't get back on in time before another blocker recycles her. So as Smack is now throwing a scoring pass, Lexi on fire is through for through all the Manchester blockers, so she's throwing a scoring pass. As Smack is trying to break through that wall of Hotwheel to score some points. She does manage to get through on the outside. I can't tell from how many points it was, but she calls it off before Hotwheel can score, so it's 3 points for Manchester and 0 to Hotwheel. We need lots more of them from Manchester if they want to close this score differential. And now the penalty box empty, so we're back up to full strength for each team. We've got a 4-on-4. This time Hotwheel are at the front and they're opting for a 3-wall with a bolster in the form of Kay Hizzle, number 81. And we've got some good B blocking going on there on the inside from Hotwheel. But Peggy Lethal once again straight through, last line of defence, doesn't stand a chance. She's through inside to the outside. Peggy Lethal is through, well, lead for Hotwheel. A little tumble from the Manchester jammer, but she's up and she's smiling. Go Chanel is now on a scoring pass. Peggy Lethal gets through for 1 point. Is knocked off to the outside. Calls it off. Denying Manchester any points and taking them 1 point further ahead. Another clean jam with no penalties. So once again, 2 full strength sides. This time Manchester take the front with the same 3-wall with a bolster. These wide links, a potential problem for multiplayer penalties. And we've got Mia Tennant jamming for Hotwheel against, that's number 4, Victory B for Manchester. She tries to stay in on the outside of number 6, but she doesn't manage it. However, Mia Tennant does manage to stay in, and she's through for lead for Hotwheel. And the outside is left open again, so Victory B is chasing her down, but Hotwheel do have lead. They're in control of this jam. With Manchester taking the front wall, some interference run, but yes, manages to disrupt the Manchester wall, leaving the inside gap open. That's a 4-point pass for Hotwheel, 0 to Manchester. Beautifully timed play there by Hotwheel. You've got to give them credit for peeling off one blocker when the Manchester jammer was bearing down, and then peeling off, hitting a gap, getting back to your wall to stop the jammer while your jammer managed to sail through the gap you've created. It's all got to be timed perfectly, and in that jam it absolutely was. So now this time we've got Manchester taking the front wall with a 2-wall and a bolster, while one blocker goes back to provide some offence to get the jammer through. So we've got Peggy Lethal again, does a little creepy octopus around the outside. The gap is big enough, she's through for lead. And a full team of offence provided for the Manchester jammer to get through, for Smack to get through, but so far unsuccessfully, as the blockers of Hotwheel are rapidly reforming, stopping her. Kay Hizzle tries to take on the outside, but Smack is actually now through. So Smack is through for Manchester on a scoring pass. Peggy Lethal gets one more pass, calls off the jam. That's 4 points to Hotwheel and 0 to Manchester. So now, looking at the scores, we've got 215 to Hotwheel and 80 to Manchester. So pushing the score differential now to 135. Now every jam, they're inching ahead, and several inches add up, don't they, to make something that's bigger than an inch. So that's not a particularly good analogy. Anyway, we now have one Hotwheel blocker in the bin, so there's a 4-on-3 advantage in the pack to Manchester. However, the wall not largely coherent and is broken through. Hotwheel are through. That's Mia Tennant is through for lead for Hotwheel, leaving Gogo Chanel to do all the work behind a wall of 3 blockers. Oh, beautiful little apex hop there from Mia Tennant. She manages to stay in bounds, leaps around the blocker, gets the point. She's through, free and clear for 5 points, while Gogo Chanel is recycled back to the back of the pack. She's taken the star off, looking for a star pass, but she's knocked off to the inside. She comes back on track. Can she successfully pass this star? Looks like she's taken a tumble. Has she passed the star yet? No, she's not. She's still got the star in her hand. While Peggy Lethal once again pushed from the outside, and then another hit bringing her to the outside. She goes around the inside and manages to stay on her feet. Through for another 5 points. Meanwhile, the star has now been passed successfully. A celebration there from number 20 from Manchester, Siren Eyed. She puts the star on. This will possibly force the call off, will it? She's asking her bench, should I call it? Well, you've got a few seconds to decide. Yes, you will. I think that was in time. So yeah, 4 points to Hotwheel and 0 to Manchester. They really fought for that star pass and they managed to pull it off. Good on them. Looks like Manchester are forcing another pivot line start, and they have the pack advantage once more. 4 on 3 with one of the Hotwheel blockers in the bin. Manchester again going for a 3 wall with a bolster, and Victory B jamming for Manchester. Up against, I think that might be Peggy Lethal. Can't see it from there. Yes, of course it is Peggy Lethal. But Victory B is through for lead for Manchester as Peggy Lethal is dealing with the last line of defence against Manchester. She's through on the outside, and now we've got some jammer on jammer action. But she does slow her down. She manages, but a beautiful little hockey stop makes the Manchester jammer stumble, but she's caught her up again. Taylor on the outside really trying to slow this jammer down, and the pack is speeding up to deny both jammers any points. A successful bit of jammer on jammer action there. It looked like it was going to go wrong, but she managed to catch up and deliver the goods again, forcing the call off there. So 0 to Manchester and 0 to Hotwheel. They did play it out long enough to get the jammer at the bin, so there is no advantage in pack size now. We've got 4 on 4. I can't see the jammers, they've both evidently got low starts. Oh no, there we go, we've got Mia Tennant jamming for Hotwheel. Up against, who's that? Can't see your face. Straight through on the middle, Mia Tennant, number 7, through for lead for Hotwheel. And closely followed by Smack for Manchester. Both walls there were decimated by the jammers. But Mia Tennant managed to get through first for lead. She looks like she's speeding up to maybe go for an apex jump there, but maybe the timing was off, or I read it wrong perhaps, but she goes to the inside, falls off the jam. 2 points to Hotwheel, and once again denying points to Manchester. This is the aim of the game. Deny the opponents any points while getting some points yourself. It sounds very basic, and I suppose it is. Now Hotwheel have the pack advantage, a 4 on 3 advantage, as Victory B jams once again up against Peggy Lethal. And immediately no pack call as Manchester take the front line. But Peggy Lethal just destroying that 3 wall, absolutely destroying it. They cannot stay on the feet, they cannot keep her down, not keep her back. She's through for lead. And Victory B is also through for a scoring pass now. Whoa, Peggy Lethal is a good lap ahead. Gets through the pack for 4, denying Manchester any points. So they're an inch and ahead by another 4 points, taking them to 231 against Manchester still on 80. And there we have, yep, another Manchester blocker in the bin. Is it the same blocker? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention again. Anyway, either way, we've got a 4 on 3 pack advantage to Hotwheel, with Manchester taking the front with a very wide bolster again. Any challenge on those links need to immediately break away, or a multiplayer will be called. The outside is almost left wide open for the Incredible Ish to get through on the outside, but Hotwheel managed to get around her, but she don't manage to push her off. She's through, and she's passed every last one of them. That's Manchester through for Lee. The Incredible Ish is through as Lee jammer for Manchester. Meanwhile, Lexi on fire jamming for Hotwheel, struggling to get through. She's called for a forearms penalty, so a power jam to Manchester. So we've really got to push this to get Manchester some points. an unsuccessful hit to the outside. She manages to stay on her toe stops, hopping all the while through, but the shoulder of Ruthless Philly knocks her to the ground, knocks her to the outside, and she's recycled back. And Ruthless Philly rejoins the four wall to once again ruin the life of the Manchester Jammer. But some offense there from Manchester trying to help her through. However, it looked like the Manchester Jammer eyes were not on the front, and she was taken off the outside again as Lexi on Fire is back on track. The last two lines of defence do not successfully contact Lexi on Fire, taking her off track, so she's through now for a scoring pass. Manchester Jammer calls off the jam. 4 points to Manchester and 0 points to Hotwheel. So a much needed 4 and points, and more so a much needed denial of points to Hotwheel by Manchester. With only 4.5 minutes left in this game, it's unlikely to be enough, but that's exactly what we need to see from Manchester. Once again, we've got nobody in the penalty box, so we've got equal sides. We've got an uneven bolsterer who's favouring the lane 2 from Manchester. We've got the front wall. A little crossover of jammers there as Mia Tennant makes small work. Oh, that's a beautiful lead, ducking and diving from the inside to the outside. Manchester Jammers have no chance of getting in the way of that. Smack is recycled by 109. A call of wall means a reform for Hotwheel. It works like clockwork as Smack is sent to the bin. And Mia Tennant is through for a score of 5 points. So it's exactly what Manchester did not want to happen. Hotwheel now have a grand slam in a power jam. The pack is speeding up to try and deny her points, but Hotwheel provided offense while the pack is being spread out. Last shoulder there from Victory B. Does knock her down, but does not knock Mia off. She's through for another 5 points. A minute left in this jam, and it looks like less than 10 seconds left of the Manchester Jammers penalty. Full on offense again. Is that going to speed up the pack, or is that going to get her through? She's hit from inside to outside, but moves like a kung fu master. A beautiful little swerve. Mia is through for another grand slam. She is not. Oh, this is going to be the initial pass still of the Manchester Jammer, so she's no need to call it. Once again, Manchester wall not able to keep coherently in front of her to stop her getting through. She breaks the wall apart, pushes through the last line of defence. She must be very tired, but it's not a difficult thing for her, it seems. Almost a low block there from Hotwheel on the Manchester Jammer, but she does not go down. There is no call, and we now have a cutting the track call on Mia Tennant. So this is a power jam to Manchester in the dying seconds of the jam. However, a power jam for Manchester. Can they provide any offense to get her through for the point? She is through for 5 points in literally the last second of the jam. So that was 5 points in the last jam, in the last pass for Manchester, and it will be a power jam start for Hotwheel. However, with an official review that's just been announced, this may well be questioned, as it's probably about the cut in the track call on Mia, just on turn 1. So as soon as I find out, I will let you know. Well, that is my best guess anyway, but for the moment, certainly Mia Tennant is sat in the bin. So as it stands, it would be a power jam start to Manchester in the next jam. Looks like the bench and captain have left the refs, so the grievance has been aired while the refs discuss it and decide the fate of this call. This one doesn't seem quite as cut and dried as the do seem to be discussing, but as you can probably see, Hotwheel very light-hearted, and it's not surprising given their 266 point lead. So just got to clarify the official review now.
We're indeed challenging the
So yeah, the official review was indeed regarding the cutting call on the Hotwheel jammer. However, the call stands. The official review was not successful, as she went off on one foot, came back on, and I believe the problem was that the call was called before she went down. However, the cut was for a number of seconds prior to that. So yeah, official review unsuccessful, the call stands. So time in again. We've got pivot line start with Hotwheel at the front, and we're underway. So yeah, there is a Manchester power jam for Gogo Chanel. She does beautifully, manages to get through lane 3, pushes seamlessly through without any trouble there really. So she's through for lead for Manchester, and the Manchester jam is just standing, so 10 seconds remaining. Can Manchester make good use of this power jam? She's pushing through in the middle again, but this wall keeps reforming. She's stretching out the pack. She's pushing through on the inside. Oh, she's just knocked off the inside by, who's that? That's Ruthless Philly, the Hotwheel captain, but she spins her around, doesn't manage to get in her way twice. She's through for 5 points. There's a grand slam to Manchester, as Mia Tennant's now out of the box and straight through the pack on the inside. All she needs is room for a toe stops and she can get through. But with Hotwheel on the scoring pass there, Manchester through for 4. Manchester call off the jam, denying them points. That's 4 points to Manchester and 0 to Hotwheel. And with swapsies now, we've got Manchester on the pivot line start, with a flat wall for Hotwheel at the back, facing a 3 wall with a bolster, but the bolster in lane 2. Looks like we've got Peggy Lethal for Hotwheel up against, is that the Incredible Ish jamming for Manchester? So quite a slow start, but Peggy Lethal putting her foot down now as she's pushing against lane 1. Can she push it? She's pushing around the bend. It's a bit of a congested pack as both walls crash into each other and the jammers are desperately trying to battle their way through. But the Hotwheel jammer pushed off to the outside, allowing the Incredible Ish to get through on the inside. So Manchester have lead. Manchester are now in control of this jam in the dying seconds of this period. Manchester have lead. They have the points. She calls off the jam. That's 0 to 0, but a timeout is called by Hotwheel. I beg your pardon, it's not 0 to 0. 1 point was earned by Manchester there. So that's 1 point to Manchester and 0 to Hotwheel. The points were denied. But a timeout is called by Hotwheel with 8 seconds remaining on the clock. So with the score standing at 255 to Hotwheel against Manchester's 98. Manchester have fielded a jammer, expecting another jam, of which there will be. With a pivot line start again, 4 on 4, nobody in the wall. This is quite likely to be the last jam of the game. With a 3 wall with a bolsterer for both teams. We've got Mia Tennant jamming for Hotwheel up against, yes, Pina Colada, of course, who else could it be, jamming for Manchester. The crowd's getting quite heads up now in this live jam. Some jammer on jammer action there from Pina Colada, but a mistimed hit means she doesn't manage to get Mia off to the inside. She's pushing on the outside. She's got every last reserve of strength, steps over one of her own players. Pina Colada is through for lead for Manchester. And the cut is called on Mia on the inside there. So it is a power jam. The last jam is a power jam to Manchester. This is exactly what they need. If they can manage to get to 157 points in this jam, then they will tie. It's very unlikely, but this is exactly what they need. In 30 seconds, how many points can you score? They're stretching out this pack now, with Pina Colada desperately trying to get past the shoulder of Ruthless Philly, but she manages to knock her off to the outside, but a revenge hit knocks Ruthless Philly off, but she still needs to recycle back past the other blockers. Trying to get a go to the front there. Smack does not succeed in keeping Lexi on fire, who's knocked off to the inside. However, the inside is left open, so Pina Colada is through for 5 points. As trying to get a go to the front there.
And just on the outside there, so Mia turning through. She's out of the bin. She's through for a scoring pass now. But I think the crowd seem to be yelling for the Manchester Jammer for Pina Colada to call off the jam, denying Mia points on that last pass. 3 points to Manchester, 0 points to Hotwheel. A beautiful last jam there from Manchester, who successfully totally denied Hotwheel any points as Hotwheel were sent to the bin, and that's exactly what Manchester needed. Their spirits are up. You cannot keep this team down. With the unofficial final score at 255 to Hotwheel and 107, they managed to break the century. 107 to Manchester Roller Derby. The refs now just checking the maths, make sure that all the points tally, and the final score is indeed official. So I'll bring that to you shortly, but stay with us as there will be another exciting game of roller derby to follow. That's the Newcastle Roller Girls Canny Belters versus Leeds Roller Dolls, and that I believe is due to start at 2:30, with the time now being 5 past. We may well even start on time, you never know. So yeah, keep your eye on Twitch, where you'll see this stream being broadcast for free. Final scores officially now sanctioned by the referees. We've got 255 to Hotwheel versus Manchester's 107. That was an amazing game. Both teams fought so brilliantly for the battle, but Hotwheel did really run with it. But the last jam there, Manchester can hold their heads up high. So all that's left now is for the teams to congratulate each other, which only takes about 14 hours. Well, yeah, the next game should start pretty much on time, I would think. So once again, I'm Badham for Tyne and Fair. This is a live stream of the British Championships of the doubleheader of the British Championships game today. The next game is Newcastle Roller Girls Canny Belters versus Leeds Roller Dolls, which should start in approximately 25 minutes. Thank you for listening. Stick with us for the next game. I'm sure it'll be equally, if not more, exciting than the last. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.